the legendary Jay Paterno joins us. Tap in. Jay, I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, appreciate it, man. What you got going nowadays, man?
What don't I have going on these days?
No
That's a better question.
Writing books, trustee at Penn State, consulting on stuff, TV show, all kinds of stuff. So I keep busy with everything. So every day I have to wake up and figure out what I am that day.
I don't ask you, how do you balance all that at once? If writing a book, TV show, it's a lot.
I'm not sure I've balanced it successfully yet, so I don't want to give myself too much credit. But I mean, you just got to get up and figure out, prioritize something every day, and it's an ongoing battle.
No question. I got to ask you something. Quarterback guy, having a quarterback background like myself, this quarterback draft. We just had Jeff Diamond, who's been a GM and an exec for a long time. Where are you at with this when you look at it optically, even though if you're not directly correlated with it or connected right now, you still got an eye like I do, and we look at this thing and say, hey, I'm down on this draft tremendously. I just think it's a bad one, one of the worst ones I've seen in a long time. Are you optimistic about this draft? I've been the negative guy, negative Nancy, Jay.
He's always
quarterback play is shitty. I think quarterback play in the NFL is getting worse and worse and worse. And I blame a lot of things, but that's a whole nother show. Where are you at with this particular draft? You see anything?
I mean, when I look at it, and I haven't studied it in depth, but having watched a lot of college football this fall, is there one guy there that I look at and go, there is no doubt about this guy, I would take him? Everybody's got question marks. Everybody. Yeah. One guy I've seen twice live is Dylan Gabriel at Oregon. I saw him in Oklahoma. I saw the Oklahoma-Texas game a year ago where he drove him down the field and beat him. I saw him against Penn State beat us. I saw him. I was at the Ohio State-Oregon game, saw that live. But size-wise, a lot of other things, he may very well be a Russell Wilson guy based on work ethic, size, that kind of stuff. He might be a steal. I don't know where he's projected. He might be a steal. But I'm like you. Like most fans, I'm at this point, enough of the mock drafts, enough of the pro days, enough of all this made for TV stuff. I pay no attention to it. Just let me know who goes where, when, and how.
Am I over like analyzing this? Sorry, Smitty. Am I over analyzing this? Like, we have these questions every year about everybody probably. And it's just because I think we have a Deion Sanders son in this one, and then the Cam Ward who's, and then you got a Travis Hunter who's an anomaly or a unicorn or whatever. Is this the same? Is just social media and everything so much more prevalent, and we get to see more and more and more every year with all the access?
I think one of the things that we used to do when I was coaching, Joe would say, look, if they go to the combine and they have a pro day, stop working out. Because a lot of these scouts, their only job is to find something to say no. No one wants to stick their head out and say, I'm going to take this guy. At some point, you got to just say, look, the hay is in the barn. You've seen me run twice. You've seen me do the bench press stuff. You've got film. By the way, maybe look at film. That's one of those neat ideas. Like, can a guy make this throw? I mean, you don't need to throw it live. Yeah, look at some film and see how they produce. I mean, and so at some point, let's get on with it. And I think we're at that point where we're overanalyzing every guy in the draft.
Yeah, 100%. I tell JB all the time, like, I've never been a big believer in like combine or pro days. I get it. You want to see like, their athleticism, and I understand to an extent, but watch the tape. You just got 12 games or a couple seasons of me like showing you what I do in the actual game of football. If you want to know how I play football, watch me play football. That's always been my mindset there.
I can't agree with you more, especially quarterback. They all look good throwing in shorts.
Yep.
100%. Let me see him get hit in the mouth early in the game and how he responds. Because I've coached guys that, a friend of mine used to raise hunting dogs, and he'd get these, and he'd have all these great genetics in these hunting dogs. And he said, until you take them out and shoot the gun off, some of them go run and get you the rabbit. Some of them hide behind your leg. And that's what you see on film. Who's going to go get the rabbit and who's going to hide behind your leg? And some of it is, when I was recruiting quarterbacks, we turned down guys that came on visits that were highly rated prospects because in a film session, they were half on their phone. And I go, if I don't have a guy that's locked in looking at film on a recruiting visit, because so much of the game is here up. There's probably 15, 20 guys in this draft physically that from the neck down can go out and win a lot of games for you. But Tom Brady from here up, Patrick Mahomes from here up, the guy, Jalen Hurts from here up. That's why they're winning.
Yeah, 100%, man. And speaking of talking about quarterbacks, man, let's talk about, right there in your backyard, Drew Allar. Talk about just his potential going into, next season, what you like about him, just your overall thoughts on him.
I think he's got some things to work on, and I don't mean that to disparage him. I just think everybody at this stage does. The question is in an era and in a league that's gone to more mobile quarterbacks, where does he fit in? Because when you have a guy that's not as mobile, you better have good people around him. Because if the left tackle whiffs on 3rd and 8, you're punting the ball. If you got Patrick Mahomes 3rd and 8, the left tackle whiffs, that's probably the worst thing that happened for you defensively because now he's loose. Yeah. But he's got a strong arm. I think the question on him is going to be, can he get over the hump against Ohio State? Can he get over the hump in those games? His playoff numbers were not great. He was around 55, 56, 54% completions. Didn't have big games in the playoff game. So, this is a big year for him. And I think he did the right thing coming back. There's no question. I think this can be a year where he really develops.
Yeah, another big time player.
As I say develop, I mean just take another step or two.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to disparage him because he's had some great games. There's no question.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you for just, being honest, being real here about it. Another player, big time guy, of course, going to the NFL, Abdul Carter. How good is he really? Like, is he as good as advertised? We're hearing the Micah Parsons comparisons and LeVar Arrington. We know that number 11 at Penn State. It's a real something serious there. How good is Abdul in your eyes?
Hey, by the way, Jay, not to cut you off. Imagine retiring number 11 at Penn State.
You can't. You shouldn't retire. We don't retire.
Colorado did with 2 yesterday, but go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't retire 11 at Penn State. And there are people that argue 31's the better linebacker at Penn State. Shane Conlon, Paul Posluszny, Andre Collins, 3 All-Americans right there. National championships, Big Ten. So, I mean, there's a debate back and forth between what the number is, and I'm not going to wade in the middle of that one, believe me. I played with Shane Conlon, and there's never been anybody better than him. Now, that said, I didn't play with Jack Ham, and people talk about Jack Ham, but anyway, beyond that, talk about Abdul Carter. The really interesting thing about Abdul Carter is this. There is, and this is going to be scary when you hear this, there's still tremendous upside for this guy. He's only been an edge rusher for 1 year. He's been a stand-up linebacker his whole career. So some of the technique things, I think it wasn't until game 4 he got his first sack, but then he started to get in the groove. But in terms of technique and knowing the position, he's got all upside. Plus, on the other side, early on, you can take him and put him in some stand-up linebacker and some nickel positions and get him to rush where now you get him matched up on running backs. Yeah. And again, how much they can handle mentally as rookies in the NFL, because it's a whole, it's a really complex world when you get the NFL. A lot of guys struggle with it. I don't think he will, but this is a guy that gives you a really interesting talent set, not just as a rush guy, but also as a stand-up linebacker. And the other thing about Micah Parsons only played 1.5 years at Penn State, and then took that year off for COVID and then went. So this guy's had a little bit more development than Micah coming out. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But clearly this league prioritizes 2 things, quarterback play and pass rush. Because that's where the game's won and lost. And when you look at what running backs are going through with contracts and stuff, as good as Saquon Barkley was last year, and he is a tremendous talent, but that offensive line in front that's the key. And having a quarterback that you got to pay attention to is critical. And pass rush matters. That's the best pass defense you got is pass rush.
I'm a former D tackle. I played in the MAC, so I'm a little biased when it comes to great D linemen. But there's rumors that he might go to Cleveland. Just picturing him on the opposite side of Myles Garrett just sounds insane to me. So we'll see.
Oh, no doubt. And I know the Buffalo Bills fans were hoping they could get their hand on Garrett when he was talking about leaving. But it doesn't look like it. So he's going to stay put. Now you partner that up. You're not going to have 5 guys out in the route against 4-man rush a whole lot, and that's the ball game.
Hey Jay, I got to ask you, pound for pound, just watching the film, and I got DV Sport, and I get to watch a lot of the end zone stuff. to me, pound for pound, I think he's the best prospect in this whole draft. Like, I got 28 in the league. Personnel wise, just looking at it, I'm like, this guy could be different. You've been around him probably and seen a lot more up close than me. Can he carry two and eagle the tight end and do some shit that we don't see a lot of? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I don't know that he'll get into that. That's really been his forte, but I mean, he's got the athleticism to do it. And since you mentioned tight ends, as good as Abdul Carter's, he might even be the best prospect coming out of Penn State. It's like neck and neck. I mean, but no, is he what we got going on here from the kid out of Georgia that's in Vegas right now? You compare him to him? A little different build. Probably not as good a one-on-one. That kid really incredible in terms of route running and stuff was just on a different level. But the thing Warren gives you is think Mike Allstott as a running back. I mean, if you could take him and put him in some short yard stuff, the stuff they did with him in the backfield carrying the football, there's a guy that could read the blocking schemes as well as a guy who had played running back for 10 years. He knew how to, when the guard was coming inside out to kick somebody out, he'd take that half step to the outside to get that end to widen a little bit, let the guard kick him out, and then go north and south. From here up, the things he had to do just mentally is incredible. I mean, I coached a guy, Michael Robinson, who played quarterback and then went on and played for the Seahawks and the 49ers and won the Super Bowl and was paired up with Marshawn Lynch, the fullback. Michael Robinson had the same kind of had an elite football mind as a quarterback and played a bunch of positions for us. Warren has that same kind of mind, but obviously can go out and beat people one-on-one in routes. Obviously can carry the ball and carry ball carriers with him. He's thrown some passes. He's a high school quarterback. He punted in a quick kick, which wasn't really that one didn't go as well. So I don't think that you want to have him as your emergency punter unless all hell breaks loose. Yeah. But I mean, those are two guys that are as good as anybody in the draft at their position.
This man's a true Swiss Army knife. Like, he can do everything.
Hey, Jay, I'm a good friend of James, man. I've known James a long time. Many titty bars together. But anyway, we won't say nothing about that.
As a trustee, I did not.
Right, we didn't hear nothing. I don't know what this man's crazy.
Where's James at as far as the eyes of the Penn State brass? Like, is he on trajectory wise? I mean, he's been there a while now, and he's always rebuilt programs, done a great job. Yeah. Upstanding dude too. I've known him a long time. Gets after staff. I've known a lot of shit about. Is he the guy? Is he going to get you guys over the hump?
Well, this is the year. I mean, they have thrown all in on this year. There's no question about it. The pressure that's going to be on them this year will be through the roof because you got your quarterback back, you got two running backs back. Having said that, they need a wideout. I mean, I think that's been one of the Achilles heel the last 2 years. They have not had that guy that when you're a defensive coordinator, you look at and go, we got to double that guy every play, which then opens everything else up. Losing Tyler Warren is a big deal. I mean, that was their go-to guy in the pass game that you had to pay attention to. But this is the year. I mean, he's got the coordinator he wants. Penn State, we have, in terms of since he's been here, we've in between facilities that we've already built or are going to build and his personal salary that we paid him, it's coming. You're looking at roughly $1 billion in investment. It's in the upper 900 million. So if you can't get it done, you got to get it done. And I think this is the year that they have a really good shot to do it because of the experience that they have and the staff he's got. And certainly as a Penn Stater, you hope it gets done sooner. You hope it gets done this year.
And Jay, I got to clarify, the chat's going crazy. This is well before he was a head coach. Calm down. Hey, Jay,
I heard nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, ask me no question. I tell you no lie.
I was just watching Hogan's Heroes the other night, which shows my old age. It's on repeat. There's Schultz. I know nothing.
Exactly.
I heard nothing.
Hey, no doubt. Hey, let me ask you something real quick on this quarterback talk as we're talking about it. I know Derek Carr's got some issues now in the Saints. They don't know what's going on there. Do you see a scenario where either one of these, Shador isn't the second pick, somebody else gets taken before him as everyone thinks he's the second guy after Cam Ward? Do you see something happening funny in this draft that I know every year it does, but do you see something with the quarterback, or do you see a quarterback position in totality fall? out of the first round, for instance, besides probably Cam Ward?
I never try and guess what these guys are doing. I mean, the guys have gotten drafted, and I go, I thought Christian Hackenberg went higher than he probably should.
Yeah.
And I was hoping I was wrong, but I've seen that happen with guys. I think what's happened a little bit is you have GMs and team owners that fall into a little bit of the hype of guys, much like college coaches do with recruiting. We got to go get this guy because he's this. And sometimes the owner weighs in and says, well, I want this guy. And I think that's happened. We've even seen that happen with, some established coaches that end up with quarterbacks they don't want. But I never try and guess what these guys are thinking. Like I said, just tell me who goes where. It's over.
No question. No, I get it. No doubt.
No,
Smitty?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was kind of taking a step back before I forget my thought. So you said it's a lot of pressure this upcoming season to get it done. When you say get it done, are you saying natty or bust? Is that what we're saying? Or are we saying win the Big Ten? Or are we saying get past Michigan?
I think
what does get it done mean?
The fan base is looking at it and saying, look, everybody overvalues just having your quarterback back. And that's not to take any credit away from any quarterbacks, but who's going to block for him? Who's going to catch the ball? I mean, there's some big losses. I mean, we talk about two of the guys that might be in the top 10 of the draft. Those are guys that are hard to replace. But that perception that the running backs came back and didn't transfer, the quarterback came back, everybody looks at it and goes, oh, we're set on offense. Otherwise, somebody got blocked for those guys. And they lost some guys there. So, and they went out and spent $3+ million to get defense coordinator from Ohio State. So the perception is national championship or bust with the fan base. There's no question that's the perception. That's the expectation. Is it fair? Well, only one team gets to do it every year. My dad had 5 seasons where he went undefeated and didn't get it. I mean, so even if you do everything you can, now it's a playoff now. And the ball can bounce the wrong way, a funny way, or something can happen. So people just don't realize how hard it is to win it all. Yeah. And now when you talk about 16 or 17 games, you got to stay healthy. Over the years, I've talked to Jim Tressel, Urban Meyer talked about when they won it in 2014, is the first year of the 14 playoff. He said, if you had told us we'd go play 2 more games after that, I don't think we could have. We were down to our 3rd quarterback at that point.
Oh, yeah, Cardell
Jim
Jones.
Tressel, who I've known for years, talked about when he was in 1AA, that was a 16-game season, and how they would start out in January really training to get ready for 16 games, as opposed to when, what everybody has been used to up until this past year, training for a 12-game season. So it takes a lot of doing. But the fan base clearly expects it. But again, that's what they expect every year. I mean, we went 11-1 in 2008, and they bitched about the one all off season.
Yeah. No doubt. Hey, Coach, I still call you Coach. Shit. What'd you coach? 17 years there?
17 here, 22 overall. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck with that.
You miss it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when some of the things happened here, there was a lot of guys that suddenly it was like, hey, we better not take the negative publicity that was wrongly attached to certainly my family, my dad. So, at this point, you just kind of move on, do some other things. If someone picked up the phone and called me tomorrow, I'd certainly have that conversation. But I'm really holding out for the Red Sox managerial job. I think that's really my true calling.
Hey, let's do it.
No disrespect, Alex Cora. I think he's awesome.
Hey, no doubt.
If he needs a first base coach, I mean, I can wave guys by. I can do that part of it.
Hey, we had Johnny Damon on the other day. So we had Johnny Damon. Man, I only asked you because I'm out of it. I'm pretty much blackballed, so it is what it is. So I know it's kind of a love-hate type of deal, right? You love helping these kids and help getting them to the next level and moving them on and everything that comes with it, the relationships. Nowadays, my question is full circle here with the NIL and the portal era, how the relationships are gone. It just seems like this is a different era, different ball game. I don't know if I could do it anymore because I'm not throwing money at you. I used to. It was a buy-in based on the trust and relationship that I had with the parents, the kid, etc., and vice versa with the kid with us, right? Where you at with this whole thing? How crazy is it, especially as a trustee seeing all this shit? How crazy has this become? And is this just NFL amateur?
Well, the thing about it is the NFL at least has rules. and there's a collective bargaining agreement, and there are employees, and you can't tamper with guys. I mean, you tamper with a guy in the NFL, you're losing draft picks, you're getting massive fines. So, I mean, I think the thing is just the first part of your question. I think this is really going to emphasize the coaches that are really smart and really know how to develop relationships with their guys. Because anybody, and I wrote a piece for CEO World Magazine not long ago, where I talked about the difference between building a roster and building a team. Anybody can go out. Everybody's mindset is go buy this guy, buy that guy. We'll get all the best talent on the team. Well, the best talent team, they hate each other's guts and not trust each other. And you're going to lose games that you shouldn't lose.
Mercenaries, right?
Whereas so the emphasis is how do I build a team rather than build a roster? I think Ohio State, for all the money they threw at that team last year, Ryan Day got those guys focused and committed in the playoff stretch like really nobody had seen. And that was a real team. I think Marcus Freeman did a great job of building a team that wasn't exceptionally talented. They lost that game to Northern Illinois, and then that team really – and Al Golden was defensive coordinator there. He was a teammate of mine, and he talked about the kind of culture that Marcus Freeman has built there. You know, I tried to recruit Marcus coming out of Dayton, Ohio. He was just from north of Dayton, and Tressel got in there, and, you know, we had no chance getting him. But I mean, I have great respect for what he's doing. So I think you got to look at coaches that are doing that. Even at Penn State, when you look at our women's volleyball team, Katie Schumacher-Colley won the national championship. And she didn't spend as much in NIL as Texas or Wisconsin, Nebraska, those places. But when it came down to it in the national semifinals, they got down 2-0 and swept Nebraska and won the national championship because she had a group of kids that believed in each other. And I think that's going to be where you see the great coaches are going to be the ones that can do that. Now, having said that, this plane has to land somewhere at some point because even with the settlement, you know, a guy like the guy at Tennessee, and I won't even try his last name, Nico. I mean, that doesn't prevent this. It doesn't. So until you put together, just let's own what we are. We're in sport. We have a sports entertainment franchise on our campus. Let's just admit it. The Big Ten brings in $1.1 billion in television money. That's not an extracurricular activity. This isn't like, this isn't the chess club or there's a lot of money changing hands here. And if Penn State and Ohio State play next year and the players walk off the field, you're not going to sit there and watch James Franklin or Ryan Day play cornhole. Now, they may be great. They might be wildly entertaining, but 12 million people aren't going to watch it and bet. Well, they might bet on it. People are betting on anything now.
I always tell Jason this is the players.
They might bet on it. But, I mean, so the reality is until we admit what we are, admit their employees, and create a collective bargaining, this whole labor market won't settle down. And I say labor market because that's what we're at now.
And it's student athletes done. Like, we got to just face that.
No one talks about the school part of it.
No one. The recruiting.
The last time you heard that NIL deal, hey, look, if you get a 3.8, you'll get this. That's not in the contract. It's never going to be.
And there's no more recruiting long-term 3-4 year guys, right? Like out of high school, when you're a freshman, sophomore, and I'm prepping you to come to Penn State, and there's no more of that. You're in the portal, whether it's keeping up with the Joneses or just doing what you have to do, a $20 million roster, whatever it is. It's crazy times, man. I just hope we can put the pace back in the tube somehow. I don't know how, but it's going to be interesting to see it all unfold. Jay, man, I can't thank you enough to come on
thank
here.
You.
I gotta. Hopefully, we get you again, man. I appreciate it. Tell James. Tell James I said I'm a slapdick still.
Will do, man. Enjoy it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Like I said, anytime you guys want to chat, more than happy to come on.
Man, real one. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Take care.
All right, Jay. Take care. Bye.